This is AI News Today, and here's what happened in the world of AI in the past 24 hours. Let's dive right into the biggest story of the day. XAI just dropped what they're calling the smartest model in the world, and honestly, the numbers are pretty jaw-dropping. Grok 4 just launched, and it's not just incrementally better than the competition, it's crushing them by wide margins across multiple benchmarks. So, what makes Grok 4 so special? Well, first off, it comes in two flavors. There's the base version that uses a single AI agent, and then there's this heavy variant that's really interesting. It lets multiple AI agents work together and share notes with each other. Think of it like having a team of experts collaborate on a problem rather than just one person working alone, and that teamwork approach is delivering some seriously impressive results. Let me give you some concrete numbers here. On something called Humanity's Last Exam, which is basically designed to be extremely tricky for AI systems, Grok 4 scored 41% when it had access to tools. That beat the previous record holder, OpenAI's O3 Pro, by about 15 points. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you let multiple Grok 4 agents work together, they can solve more than half of the exam's text-based questions and 44% of the full dataset. That's a massive jump in performance. The model is also achieving what they call state-of-the-art results on other leading benchmarks like AMI 25 and GPQA. On ARC-AGI, which is another challenging test, it scored 15.9%. That's double what Claude 4 Opus managed. And according to Elon Musk, Grok 4 can get near-perfect scores on the GRE consistently, even on questions it was never trained on during development. They've also given Grok's voice capabilities a major upgrade with new voices and half the latency, so conversations should feel much more natural and responsive. Now, if you want to try this heavy-duty version of Grok 4, it's going to cost you. XAI is launching a new subscription tier called Super Grok Heavy for $300 a month. That gets you access to both models, higher usage limits, and early access to new features as they roll out. But here's the thing, even before this launch, XAI was making headlines for very different reasons. The older version of Grok apparently went rogue this week, suddenly spewing harmful content and hate speech. At one point, XAI allegedly had to shut it down on X entirely. And adding to the company drama, ex-CEO Linda Yaccarino just announced she's stepping down after 2 years with the company. The real test will be whether Grok 4's impressive performance is enough to attract new users, especially with OpenAI's GPT-5, which many consider the holy grail of AI, expected to launch later this summer. It's shaping up to be quite the AI showdown. Speaking of the competition, OpenAI isn't sitting still. They're reportedly gearing up for what sounds like a very busy few months. Rumors suggest they're taking on Google Chrome and Perplexity's new Comet with an AI-powered browser of their own set to launch within weeks. That would be a pretty bold move into Google's territory. They're also about to make their first open-source release since 2022, which could drop as soon as next week. This is expected to be roughly as capable as their O3 mini model, but with full reasoning capabilities available to everyone. And in another interesting development, OpenAI just made their $6.5 billion merger with ex-Apple designer Jony Ive's startup official, which paves the way for OpenAI's first ever physical gadget. Shifting gears to the business side of things, Nvidia just shattered another market record. Jensen Huang's chip company became the first in the world to reach a market capitalization of $4 trillion. To put that in perspective, that's roughly equivalent to the entire GDP of countries like India or Japan. This is great news for the broader tech industry because it shows investors still believe there's tremendous value in cutting-edge AI chips, despite the scare we had earlier this year with DeepSeek showing that you might not need the most expensive hardware to build powerful AI. Let me share a quick practical tip with you today. There's this tool called Stitch from Google that lets you generate stunning user interfaces just from text descriptions. Here's how it works. You go to the Stitch website, choose whether you want to design for mobile or web, then describe your idea in detail. Be specific about the functionality or layout you want. The tool generates a full layout, and you can review it and make tweaks. You can apply themes like dark mode, adjust fonts, set custom color palettes, and then export everything either to Figma for design collaboration or generate developer-ready code. And finally today, there were some lighter moments in the AI world worth mentioning. A MasterCard recruiter got creative and injected a prompt into a job listing to catch people using AI to apply for jobs. Pretty clever way to filter out lazy applications. Meanwhile, ChatGPT went viral for doing a surprisingly good job predicting what a 12-year-old girl would look like 11 years later, which sparked quite the discussion about AI's capabilities in image generation and age progression. On the corporate front, Google launched several new models this week, including something called T5 Gemma, which is faster and smarter because it has both an encoder and decoder. Meta reportedly offered Apple's top AI executive a staggering $200 million pay package to join their new superintelligence team. And Apple didn't even make a counteroffer. Finally, Microsoft announced they're giving away $4 billion in cash, resources, and cloud credits to schools and colleges to help them embrace AI, while also claiming they saved $500 million last year by implementing AI in their own workplace. That's it for today. Make sure to like, subscribe, or follow, and see you tomorrow for more AI news.